Hola a todos.
Hi everyone.
Welcome, come and welcome to Café con Las Chismosas. My name is Shayla
Y yo soy Nancy.
y somos dos hermanas hablando de temas de todos los días. We're going to start off with a couple of topics every day. Actually, what brought about this conversation and even recording and documenting is we're both Mexican American. However, we were assimilated really young without even given the option to even decide whether or not we wanted to learn about our background and where we actually culturally, ethnically are from, geographically, and even what our ancestors look like. Not by any kind of negative choice. I think it was just my mom trying to protect our identity coming here to the United States. We were both born and raised here. However, both my parents immigrated here for the opportunity to get a job and provide for their future children. And so for her and their mental state of mind during this time, we have to recognize what it was during that time, which was the 1970s,
early 70s.
So topics, and we want to right now, we want to create the barriers and the boundaries for everyone. So we apologize ahead of time if this in any way negatively affects anybody, but this is just us documenting our journey through life, being Mexican American. And so please, we're not trying to any way insult or discriminate or stereotype anybody. And so during this time, racism was very predominant. And so things like running from the Border Patrol were something that we lived every day as children. And you have to understand the mindset that we were in that place until our parents became citizens of America and were able to publicly be allowed into this country, even doing it the correct way like my parents did. And so the conversations are now starting to happen, and we want to bring light to that for everybody to recognize that, you know, oppression still exists even in this century. So I think our goal is to get to know more of ourselves and our identity. And so with that, we don't want to not document. We want to document everything, because if it's us, there's millions of people who feel the same way as we do. And so we want to be that door or that opportunity or that faith or that voice for maybe those that maybe are thinking of it and maybe they just don't have the correct resources or tools or even the educational background to be able to do something like this. So we want to go ahead and bring that to light. So very, very basic things that we did today. We talked about like the origin of our parents. So they were both born in Guanajuato, Mexico, in Peralta, and that's in San Jose. It's basically this little ranch in the middle of Mexico, next to Michoacan. And we had done the ancestry blood test, and it kind of gave us like a very broad narrative of where our background was, and we thought we were Aztec. However, there's a correction with that. We dug deeper, and that was what today's conversation began. We found out that we are actually Chichimeca de Jonas, meaning that we actually were a part of the indigenous tribe before Aztecs and before any of those subdivision indigenous people were created. Our people were related to like the Puma and the nomadic people, as the Spaniards referred us to. And so for us, I think there is very like main things that we were told but not enough of. So we kind of are now very curious to kind of go back and learn more. And one of the things that we're learning is, one thing that we knew is that the background where the backyard of my grandmother's place, there are pyramids. And so that holds obviously historic. So history. So we want to make those connections with us, so that one day we could provide those to our children and our future generational children that are coming into this world. We don't want to give them nothing to hold on to. And so I guess we're writing history for our children,
For our yes,
and
for
our generation.
Yes.
And so if you can relate to this somehow, or you're interested, or you're still curious and you want to know more, go ahead and comment and follow us. We're probably going to make visits, and we're going to record some pretty cool things, just to kind of give you an idea. Guanajuato has artifacts, and that like I mentioned, like the pyramids, and there's one that we're really interested, that we just found today. So Prata was deemed by the villagers, and I want to reference this to Wikipedia. So, Wikipedia has been part of the education, you guys. They never get credit because there are so many people that can come in and edit. However, the curiosity never not stems from Wikipedia. So please go on there and support Wikipedia. Please reach out to us to sponsor us. Peralta was deemed one of the villagers of San Jose to be enchanted by the spirits of original inhabitants. At the southernmost extent of the archaeological sites lies a mineral-rich boulder previously used as a bell by the local elders to call spiritual gatherings at the site. For us, that's something like really interesting, because from little that we know is our ancestors actually held spiritual meetings, and we kind of will say that religion plays a real big part of our culture, and I believe that stems from that. And so we just want to get to know like what happened during these ritual meetings. So anybody out there in Guanajuato that maybe an elder or so, go ahead and comment below. Let us know what are the stories that are being said. We're over here in this other world, but we want to let you know that we're connected no matter what. And so we would like to bridge that gap. And what are your thoughts about that? Being your first generation too, but you're early first generation. So when my mom and dad came to the United States, she was what we refer to the missing, what do we say?
I feel like
we're the missing Mexican American,
the lost, almost like the lost.
The lost.
We're the link. We're the in between, because you were from more from that part of their world, and then the new world, and you were kind of like the middle of the two, unwillingly, again as a child, not knowing, and now as an adult you want answers. You want to connect with other first generation kids, adults. There are first generation kids still now, and so they're going through those struggles, and to find connections, answers more than anything, and help maybe repair some of those
generational curses, generational errors, maybe even bring some hope and light to those that are here now.
Absolutely.
We were those little ones running from our own identities. I remember having these conversations with my mom, and I just couldn't believe how racist she was against her own culture. My hair was too dark. It was so dark that it was blue, that I had to dye my hair because I stood out too much. Or my nose was so prominent that it was, what could I do with my nose at 5 years old? Things of my color, my skin were too dark. Oh, you got to stay away from the sun because you don't want to be too dark. People are going to judge you. Things like don't talk because you have an accent. For many people that don't know, my first language was Spanish. I learned English here in America, yet I was born and raised here. So those are the things, those are the battles that I battled individually, and she battled individually as well, because you had to narrate for mom and dad for majority of the time.
Absolutely.
Where you want to talk about your struggles being, she's the eldest of 5, so she comes first, and then we have our 2 older brothers, and then I come in the middle, and then my younger brother. And so for a family of 5 living here in America was really hard. Luckily my parents did very well in the very beginning, because to get a job was not hard, and my dad worked really hard, so we did well. But then obviously with economics, it's very fluctual. Here comes the recession in '96, and education now became very important. Well, my dad he didn't speak fluently in English. So one of the memories that I really had was my dad was like, he was just like, my very focus is to learn English because that's the only way I'm going to get a job. But with that, like, so much depression came because it was so hard to learn it. And we tried to help him, but he spent so much of that time, which I think that really contributed to why he began drinking a lot more alcohol. And he just couldn't get it together. My parents never really bounced back from that, because it affected them so much. And now we're talking about all this stuff. So, our goal with this is to eventually write about our journey. And my parents are ready to talk. They want to talk about what they went through because they want to help other families maybe overcome, certain obstacles or certain emotional, just damage that has been done because of the oppression and repression we've occurred over so many years just on our own people. And we have to let people know that we're humans too, just like everybody else. So I think I just want to bring hope to a lot of the little kids and let them know that even though there's a lot of negative and bad in the world, that doesn't define who you are. You get to choose your path. You get to choose the choices that you want to make. So that's my mission in life. And I hope that even if there's one person or one little kid out there or one little girl out there listening, you can do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. So I think that's pretty much our introduction for you all today. Stay tuned. Right now our live channel is being created, so we have 24 hours for that to be edited. Let us know if there's any other topics you guys want to sit down and talk. It is Café o Té con Las Chismosas. So whatever beverage you want to choose to come and talk to us, we want to connect with you all. I'm having a tea here today. We both are, actually. We're having the medicine ball from our favorite coffee shop. And yeah, we want to know more. We want to make those connections, those our culture and ethnic gap, I guess you can say, from being a Mexican American and the struggles that we're facing today. We want to bring them out to light. We want to talk about it. How can we make it better? How can we start the conversation? How can we make it not so awkward? And so we had a great idea about having these conversations with people and see what their reaction is. So
even if it is considered chisme, but sit down and have chisme with us through conversation, laughter, tears, because we find that sometimes all of that happens when we're finding out about ourselves, our culture, our families, all of that. And so what better way to do that while sitting down together with someone that you enjoy company with and enjoying a beverage,
your favorite beverage. Alrighty, you all. We'll catch up soon. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.